This is Lara Henares making your day with part 21 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Chapter, Time Came for Americans to Betray the Filipinos. And we continue to quote. General Aguinaldo was asked to yield the Bayside positions in Malate to General Greene, ostensibly as a jump-off for the assault on the walled city. On August 13, a dark and dreary day, the U.S. Olympia opened bombardment of Fort San Antonio Abad at 9:30 a.m. Greene's column advanced from Malate at 10:30 a.m. Arthur MacArthur went over at 11 o'clock a.m. and at 11:20 a.m. the white flag went up over the Spanish positions. Although it was not until noon that General Greene noticed it. Knucklehead George had no monopoly on lack of perspicacity. Actually, the day before, U.S. President McKinley had proclaimed a cessation of hostilities. Thus, like the Battle of New Orleans, the Battle of Manila took place after hostilities had officially ceased. In Paris, 5 Spaniards and 5 Americans sat down to prepare the Treaty of Paris. The Filipinos were not even invited. On December 10, 1898, the Philippines was ceded to the United States for $20 million and equal Spanish trade privileges in certain commodities for 10 years. The treaty was ratified by the U.S. Senate after an acrimonious debate on February 6, 1899, by a majority of only 2 votes. The anti-imperialist Democrats might have turned the vote the other way around had not war broken out between the United States and the Philippines only 2 days before the vote, on February 4, 1899. The war was provoked by an American sentry who fired on a Filipino soldier at the San Juan Bridge. Quite naturally, Filipinos resented the Paris Treaty, which denied them full independence contrary to the promise of knucklehead George Dewey. Such a treaty, they declared, could only be effected over their dead bodies, and so started the Philippine-American War, known to American historians as the Philippine Insurrection. The capture of Aguinaldo and his oath of allegiance to the United States on April Fool's Day, 1901, and the subsequent surrender of General Malvar on April 16, 1902, ended the war. More about this after these messages. This is Lara Henares making your day with part 21 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Chapter, The Time Has Come for Americans to Betray the Filipinos. By the time the war ended, 16,000 Filipinos were dead, plus 4,234 dead Americans too. In contrast, only 385 Americans in the Philippines and in Cuba died in the Spanish-American War. The Filipinos were the deadlier enemy of the Americans. The United States had entered into the Bates Treaty with the Sultan of Sulu, in tribute to the Moros' contribution to the efficiency of the U.S. Army, to wit, the vast increase in caliber and rapid-fire power of the .45 caliber automatic, necessary to punish the Muslim into a permanent state of non-belligerency. The Moros believed that if they were killed in battle, they will enter heaven on a white horse. Thereafter, these waited upon by 8 dark-eyed, sensuously beautiful women called Huris, who are probably a lot more interesting than the born-again types we expect in the heavenly section reserved for us Christians. And whatever happened to the man who started it all? The irrepressible Theodore Roosevelt resigned from the Navy and together with a character named Leonard Wood rounded up a bunch of unsuspecting cowboy extras in a cavalry regiment called the Rough Riders. And as producer and director, he starred himself in a wild charge up San Juan Hill in Cuba, which will forever be known as a military classic of incredible blunders and wretched marksmanship. According to witness accounts, they did not even charge on horses. For the most part, they stumbled up on foot. For the rest of his life, Teddy kept charging. He was given the vice presidency to get rid of him. And then some crazy assassin got rid of President McKinley, assassinated him, and Teddy Roosevelt became President of the United States. And so Teddy not only exercised his muscles, he exercised all the powers incidental to the presidency of the United States, at one time proclaiming that the beauty of his new job was that 9/10 of his illegal acts were not even questioned. More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Larry Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.